Beaming out across the galaxy, this is where conspiracy on the wild side meets the perspective of a lifetime. This is the Free Zone with your host, Freeman.
Hello and welcome to the Free Zone. Human trafficking, pedophilia, satanic politics, and cybernetics. The Jeffrey Epstein scandal was just the tip of the iceberg. What is the best kept secret? The power of spirit. I've been at this so long, it's hard for me to even notice the shift in consciousness going on. But from the beast to the archons, Team Humanity needs to rebel against the system. Sean Stone lays out the hidden agenda of the dark elite in this 6-part documentary he put out called Best Kept Secret. In this red pill journey, Sean Stone explores famous cases like the Franklin scandal, MK Ultra, and Monarch programming.
The info has all the links to social media, to my documentaries, my books, the Art of Success workshop. I like to keep it simple.
Yes, absolutely. Just like here, freemantv.com is the one-stop shop for that. And actually, Corinne, the occult priestess, she just aired Anna Nicole Brittany and Mind Control on Rockfin for her channel. I let her, put anything up there. And it's hard to believe, man, that was 15 years ago that I was putting out this knowledge about this mind control, MK Ultra, bloody sacrifices and such. And I was terrified when I put that out. Did you feel that, like, when you're putting this out, did it, was there some trepidation that came into, like?
Nah, because honestly, what I do, I think what I do is I connect dots. It's like I take the information and I clarify it. That's what I feel that I'm here to do.
To Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to Occult Priestess's live stream on Rockfin. And tonight we are talking about hypnosis and mind control. All the information is here. And you're going to go down the rabbit hole, my friends. Freeman's going to take your head and dunk it under the water, and he will not let you up until you understand. And I love that. That's how I feel. Like, it's like, okay, watch, pay attention, because by the end of this, you're going to be light years ahead of yourself where you were when you began the video. So I hope that's a good introduction. And please visit Freeman at freemantv.com. Please visit me at occultpriestess.com or through the chat rooms here on Rockfin, because it's all about community. And I'll just say a little secret to prove to you I'm totally into community. So there's this guy, David Knight, right? David Knight has a show, and he's been a radio broadcaster and all kinds of things. He used to run video stores, but he worked for Alex Jones for many years. And I do not remember seeing David Knight on Alex Jones. But when Alex Jones fired David Knight, I had been hanging out. I think this was around the insurrection and all these things going on in Washington, when Alex Jones and David Knight were arguing about Trump and the Trump shot, which is what David Knight calls it. I became a huge David Knight fan like overnight when he got his own show, when he got away from Alex. So I don't know what that was, some kind of magic. And now, so I was watching his show all the time, and I'm like, man, I wish this was on Rockfin, because I'm always at Rockfin, but I have to put Rockfin down and go play this other game over here, David Knight. I was like, this sucks. And so I tweeted at David Knight in public and said, please come onto the Rockfin platform. And I saw that Jaime from Rockfin, an official Rockfin gentleman who is a big guy here, he had liked the tweet. And then I got an email, not like a week later, 2 weeks later, something like that, that David Knight would be making up a brand new show for Rockfin, and he would be here for me to watch. So yay. Oh my goodness. I also did that with Dabu 7, of course, and Freeman Fly. And so I just want you to know I'm in it to win it for all of us. I want you to know I scoured the internet for the perfect copy of this, but then I realized I have a whole terabyte hard drive of Freeman Fly, all of his work. And so I went into that archive and I found this one. And also, I'd like you to know that Freeman has announced he will be selling that archive through his website. And his members are going to get a crazy discount. And it was such a relief that I had this and it was the best copy out there. And I didn't have to scour the internet in this broken ass situation to try to find this interview. So you might think about getting that terabyte hard drive from Freeman Fly, freemantv.com.
Yes, it's very important that we get this out. This is such a strange thing, and it's happening to all of us. And really what happened was a bunch of serendipitous events led me to the knowledge that I bring forth now. The symbol is the reptilian eye, and the name of the company is Endemol. You start to see the picture. Well, I'm watching Bravo, and I see a Dan and Nicole special, and I want to see what they're leaving out of the picture, because they definitely left, that's what it's all for, is to leave out the critical information. It was produced by the very same company, Endemol, with their reptilian eye.
Pretty prolific there these days, I think.
It's astounding. I mean, I turned on the X-Files and it was the satanic ritual abuse episode. It's like God is trying to beat this into my brain and make sure that I see it all.
Well,
Did you hear that? It's like God is trying to beat this into my brain so that I see it all. I can see the plan, the providence here of the divine ones, actually traumatizing Freeman Fly to get him to understand what's going on as a son of a Mason and a Nazi youth mother, to bring this to his generation and to educate those who are ready to hear it. But now we don't have a choice. Everyone must hear this. Please share this wide with your social network, with your friends, with those you care about. And if you like, just tell them to skip to the second hour where they can get straight to Freeman. This is very important information, and it's divine providence.
and also it's interesting that these pop icons are propped up, you know, to be part of this whole ritual enactment oftentimes, and that they're, and I think that's an interesting point to make as well. Oftentimes the ones that we see groomed, I think they are part of this bloodline, that they're tied into this.
And so I'd like to bring up a personal facet. Growing up, my grandmother told me, and obviously the rest of the family and everybody knew this, it was just something that we knew, that we were told the story, that my grandmother is the sister of Senator and astronaut John Glenn. And that's why I named this Mind Control to Major Tom, because he was a Major Tom. The reason why it was somewhat of a secret that we were related is because Grandma was ashamed that during the Depression, her parents took her to an orphanage with her brother. And this was not explicitly told to me, but I, as a psychic, understood there was money exchanged hands, and John Glenn went to go live with his family of well-to-do people. And Grandma went back to Daisy, her mother, Daisy Dill, in fact, Native American name, huh? Daisy Dill, a flower and an herb. And so there was a lot of shame that my grandmother had because of our culture. And my grandmother had blue eyes. She was a very white-looking woman. And there might have even been a lot of more messed up background that I'm not even sure about. But she was related, and she went to the reunion every year, but no one from our family was allowed to go. And as a curious little girl, I always remembered that. And now, again, divine providence, it's all coming around, this bloodline, these Masons, and my family joined one of the new religions, Jehovah's Witnesses, but it was all engineered. And so I was meant to be a product of this engineering, but I broke my programming, and I'm here to help you break yours if you haven't yet.
You spoke earlier about Parsons and
L. Ron
Edward Hubbard being involved with the previous attempt to create a moonchild that may or may not have been successful, but you see this as a replication, a new take on an old spin.
Yes.
Trying to create.
Very curious things happened in the last attempt in the bringing of the moonchild with Jack Parsons. That's when we started getting, that's when Roswell occurred.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the flying saucers started coming and all the abductions with the Greys started being told about. And Aleister Crowley died.
You can find all of my links, everything about me, at occultpriestess.com. And I would like for David Bowie to sing us out this evening, the original Major Tom. And again, this reminds me of John Glenn in my childhood and my bloodline and what I was put on this earth to do in this lifetime. Like Freeman said, they are stealing the imagination, So if you go to my blog, right, Occultist in the Corner, I've written extensively about this in Fae or Gray, the fight for the narrative. And that's about the space people versus the ancient old-fashioned forms that we used to know before pretenders took the throne. And so thank you for being here on this Saturday night. I wish you blessings, and I have prayed for you all. Thank you so much. Blessed be, and namaste. Occult Priestess for Rockfin, out.
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom.
A long way up in light years, just a pinpoint in space, in a century of planetary storms, stranded at the moonbase. The air is getting low, the air is getting low. Looking out of the roof window, I've seen many strange things, from shooting stars to stars and stripes. Thought I caught the glimpse of golden wings. The air is getting low, the air is getting low, the air is getting low, the air is getting low. I got the vision of a big white dove. I heard the creaking of the pearly gates above. I'm wondering why the big white dove is keeping me waiting. Wondering why the big white dove